Last year we took a look at the Rode smartLav, which was a very convenient little lav mic that you could plug into your phone for recording. And it was a pretty decent mic in terms of its convenience and build quality, but it was very noisy. So Rode has released a new version called the Rode smartLav Plus. Let's take a look at that. First, let's take a quick look at the build quality. The build quality is pretty much identical to the original smartLav, which is a very good thing. The cable is reinforced with Kevlar. It's a very narrow gauge, so it's very easy to work with. The cable itself is just long enough, in my estimation. It just reaches down out of the frame if you're doing kind of head and shoulders, or even half of the body of your talent, and fits nicely. The plug is a 3.5 millimeter plug. It plugs nicely into my phone. I have a little case on my iPhone here, and it still fits nicely. That's one issue with a lot of headphones and microphones, is that the width of the little plug around the plug is so wide that you can't usually fit it in with the case on. You have to take the case off. In this case, that's not an issue with the particular case that I have, so that hopefully would work with most cases, and it makes it much more convenient to work with. The mic itself comes with this great little clip. The clip is nice from the standpoint that not only does it hold the mic very nicely, but it's also reversible, and it has this little restraint system so that you can put a loop in the cable, which helps isolate any movement of your talent from generating sound into the mic. Comes with this foam wind cover with a little kind of rubberized form so that it maintains its shape and fits nicely and snugly onto the microphone and stays there without much chance of falling off. So, like I said, very similar to the original smartLav, which is a very good thing. Great build quality, and it seems like it'll hold up quite nicely. Now, the biggest thing about the original smartLav, again, there was a downside as far as I was concerned. Obviously, very convenient. You could use your phone as a recorder, so you didn't have to buy or bring an additional audio recorder. It had great build quality, very convenient to use, but it was noisy. There was always this hiss in the background that was really difficult to get rid of. So that was the reason that I ended up not using that mic a whole lot. I think Rode got enough information and feedback from users that was a little bit annoying about that mic. And so they've come out with a new version. And the new version is, again, virtually identical in terms of build quality, but it is using a different capsule. Now, while Rode calls this mic more sensitive, I think technically it's not more sensitive from the standpoint that it does not produce a stronger output signal than the original smartLav. However, I don't see that as a problem. Because it's so much cleaner, you can just use a little bit more gain or normalize in post like I normally do anyway. And again, not a problem. It just is something to keep in mind. The output level is just slightly less than the original smartLav. So to compare the noise between the two mics, what I did is I recorded using each of the different mics on my iPhone, and then I used a separate phone to actually generate some noise, specifically white noise, with a white noise generator app. And we recorded that, holding it at about my mouth level and wearing the lav mic in the typical spot you would normally wear a lav mic, just down on the chest. And we gathered those both with the Rode Rec app. In the Rode Rec app, I had the input level set to 2/3. There actually aren't numbers, but I just left it at the same default level, which is about 2/3 gain. And from there, we got the recordings in. And then what I did with each of those recordings was I just selected everything. Actually, I recorded the white noise. This is actually a little bit of pink noise here just for comparison. And then I was silent, just recorded the room for each of them. You can see they're pretty similar there. And then what I did is brought them into Adobe Audition. I selected everything and normalized to -6 dB. So the white noise here actually goes up to -6 dB roughly. You can see here's probably the peak on this one. And the peak on this one. So it's not perfectly scientific, but it's pretty darn good. And again, one of the biggest issues with the smartLav that we saw, and again, love the microphone, very durable build, very convenient to record into your phone, but it was just so noisy. There was all this hiss, and it was just a pain to deal with that. So we wanted to see here if the smartLav was any quieter. So what we did here is I just highlighted a section of silence, and I use silence in quotes, and measured the amplitude statistics. So this is just kind of showing us where the average noise floor level is. And here we're seeing it's somewhere in the maybe -56 to -55 dB range. So pretty noisy. If we come over here to the smartLav, though, you can see while we do have some up in the -58 range, the bulk of it is actually in the -66 range. So definitely much quieter. And the practical takeaway from this is that the smartLav Plus is a much quieter microphone. You won't have the horrific hissing noise issues that you had with the original smartLav. If I had to make a decision about a mic that records into a smartphone, and I wanted to go with something like the Rode, which again, great company. They've produced some great products in the past. The smartLav, it was a good start, a little bit noisy and needed some refinement. And I think they've really hit the mark here with the Rode smartLav Plus. If I had to make a decision though, would it be the smartLav Plus, or some other option? Well, you can get into something like a giant squid with a My Mic connector, which is an adapter that makes it work into a smartphone for about the same price here. I think that if you want something with a much better industry warranty, I think you're probably better off with something like the Rode smartLav. If I had to make a choice for something that was definitely for recording into a phone, I'd probably go with the Rode smartLav Plus. If you're considering the smartLav at this point, I would say don't do it. If it's a matter of money, save up the extra $20 US and buy the smartLav Plus. You will not regret it. It's so much better than the original version. And the original version, I think some people are happy with it. They're okay with the hiss. But if that's going to bug you, if that's going to annoy you, then I think you definitely need to spend the extra 20 bucks and get the smartLav Plus. Now, this question always comes up. It came up with the smartLav a bunch as well. I'm recording using an app on an iPhone called Rode Rec. It's actually made by Rode, and it's designed specifically for their microphones, including the smartLav Plus, and it is a fantastic application. So if you are on an iOS device, I would definitely go with this. It is $5 US, but it's worth every penny, and it's a fantastic app. If you are on an Android phone, there are lots of apps out there, and I don't use Android phones anymore at this point, so I don't really know which one to recommend. I know some people have used even just a SoundCloud app has a recorder in it, so there are lots of options out there. And if there are some Android users out there that do record to your phone using this smartLav, let us know. Let us know what apps you're using and which ones work great, so that we can get that information out to our little community here. So thanks for checking out this episode. I hope you found that helpful. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that. We'll be sure to get you more great videos on how to improve your lighting and sound video. Talk to you soon.